the shadowed streets of New Orleans during the years 1918 and 1919, a reign of terror unfolded that would leave the city haunted for generations. A mysterious figure, later known as the Axeman of New Orleans, stalked his victims in the dead of night, breaking into homes and slaughtering people with an axe. His brutal killings were marked by an eerie and chilling twist. The Axeman claimed to be a demon from hell, and once announced that he would spare anyone playing jazz music on a specific night, throwing the city into a frenzy. The terror began in the early morning hours of May 23, 1918, when Joseph and Catherine Maggio, a local grocer, and his wife were discovered brutally murdered in their home. Their throats had been slit with a razor, and their heads bashed in with an axe which had been left behind at the scene. The couple's home had been broken into, but no valuables were taken, indicating the motive was not robbery. The nature of the crime shocked the city, but it was only the beginning. Over the course of the next year, a series of grisly murders would follow, all linked by the same horrifying method. The killer would break into homes at night by chiseling out a panel on the back door. Once inside, he would attack his sleeping victims with an axe, often using the victims' own tools. In several cases, the killer left the bloody axe behind. The victims were from different backgrounds: Italians, Americans, young, old, leaving the city panicked, as no one knew who would be next. The Axeman's unpredictability, his ability to slip into homes undetected, and his savage murders turned New Orleans into a city gripped with fear. Residents barricaded their homes, slept in shifts, and carried weapons, yet the killer remained elusive, vanishing into the night after each attack. The police, despite their best efforts, were powerless to stop him. The people of New Orleans began to believe that the killer might be more than a man, that he was something darker, something supernatural. The case took a bizarre turn when, on March 13th, 1919, a letter appeared in the local newspaper, supposedly written by the Axeman himself. The letter, filled with arrogance and macabre humor, claimed that he was a demon from the hottest hell, and that he enjoyed the taste of human blood. However, it was what came next in the letter that sent chills through the city. The Axeman wrote that he would strike again on the night of March 19th, but with a strange twist. He would spare anyone playing jazz music. He urged the city to fill the night with music or face his wrath. This letter threw New Orleans into chaos. On the night of March 19th, every home, club, and bar in the city echoed with the lively sounds of jazz music. Musicians played late into the night, and dance halls were packed with people hoping to avoid the Axeman's wrath. True to his word, no murders were committed that night, but the city was left more unsettled than ever, knowing the Axeman could strike at any time. Despite the wave of fear and the heightened police presence, the Axeman continued his spree, attacking several more victims throughout the rest of 1919. Some survived the attacks, though they were often left severely injured. The survivors described a shadowy figure, tall and imposing, who slipped away before anyone could catch him. But even with these descriptions, the killer was never caught. The Axeman's final known attack occurred in October 1919, when he attacked a local grocer, Mike Pepitone, killing him in his own home. Pepitone's wife survived, but the Axeman disappeared once again into the darkness, leaving behind only a bloodied axe and the city reeling in terror. After the murder of Mike Pepitone, the attacks suddenly stopped, as mysteriously as they had begun. The Axeman vanished without a trace, leaving behind a legacy of fear, unanswered questions, and an unsolved mystery that still haunts New Orleans to this day. Some believed he had moved on to another city. Others thought he had died. And there were even those who continued to believe he was a demon, as he had claimed in his letter. The Axeman of New Orleans remains one of the most infamous unsolved serial killer cases in American history. His gruesome killings and the eerie letter he sent demanding jazz music forever etched his legend into the dark history of the Crescent City. To this day, the identity of the Axeman remains unknown, but his reign of terror lives on in the chilling tales passed down through generations.